Probably. Welcome to the Kas Show with Chris Ryan. I'm your host, Eric Sell.
And I'm Chris Ryan.
I don't know why you sound so defeated. Joining us today... Oh, man, don't do that. Joining us today, friend of the show, Brooklyn Nets fan,
New Jersey.
Jay Prince. What up, though?
Yo, how y'all doing?
Good, man. How you doing today?
Chillin'.
All right, before we get started, I got a long show for you guys. I'm Hoodie T-Mac today. Does Carson Wentz look like the senior trying to play spin the bottle at the freshman party?
Yeah, for sure.
Does Alvin Gentry look like the stressed-out elf who desperately is trying to explain the logistics of flying to every child's house in one night before Santa takes a knee, puts his arm around him, and says, "Alvin, you gotta believe."
Yeah.
I like it, but nobody knows who Alvin Gentry is.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Does Alvin Gentry look like you don't know who he is? Does Kyrie Irving look like the Foot Locker employee that comes back with the size 10 when you ask for size 12?
For sure. For sure.
And my favorite, personally, does Zaza Pachulia look like the dad at the Sweet 16 that embarrasses his daughter by messing up every word to Drake's One Dance?
He looks like a scary dad. Yeah.
Yes, he does. A lot of people come to us all the time and they say, "Harry, Chris, what qualifies you to do a podcast? What do you know about sports that everyone else doesn't know about sports?" Well, I played fantasy football this week on an app, and out of 178,359 participants, I got 40,302nd. So I don't want to brag, but out of the dollar I put in, I made $1.50, killing it.
That's it.
Killing it. What are you doing? You're probably in that
50% winning.
138. You're probably in that other percentage.
Another percentage that didn't play.
Yep, 100%. Yep. Gordon Hayward got injured this week.
He did. And he didn't just get injured. He got injured badly.
He got injured badly.
So the NBA season effectively started and ended in any excitement. The East is over.
Right, yeah. The East is over. It's going to the Nets.
You didn't,
right? The Nets are taking it.
And then
I thought
D'Angelo
the Nets
Russell,
were the
the
champ.
Knicks.
But anyways, basketball.
Kristaps and Michael Beasley.
Oh my god.
Basketball aside, you got to think how devastating that is for him. Just because, in the only sense that it was his first game reuniting with Brad Stevens as head coach. If you don't know, they played together in college. Gordon Hayward's last game in college ended with a half-court heave. Almost went in to beat Duke in the championship in his hometown of Indianapolis. That's heartbreaking enough. 7.5 years later, you never thought it would happen. They're playing they're playing at the highest level together. And in the first quarter of the first game, the dude snaps his leg in gruesome fashion on national television. I was a little surprised, I guess, and also proud to see how the players in the game reacted and the players around the league reacted, reaching out to him. You know, it's more than just basketball sometimes. They weren't super... I was going to say competitive. That's poor choice of words, but I was very surprised about how they all reacted.
I feel that.
5 minutes too.
One thing that I want to say is the Gordon Hayward injury compared to the Aaron Rodgers injury, I think is very weird. I think how the different medias deal with it, because Aaron Rodgers got injured and he just gets carts off the field and they go to commercial, and when they come back, what's his name?
Brett Hundley.
Hundley is in. Hundley is in. Gordon Hayward gets injured, and they zoom in on his leg, and the two commentators are like, "You see this? You watching this?"
Yeah, that's snapped.
I think the dislocation made it worse than it actually was. It's not like it was a Paul George where it went through, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just a dislocation of the ankle that kind of set people off. But that's why you leave your shoes on when you sprain your roll your ankle. You don't take your shoes off. It's key if you know how to hoop.
If you know how to hoop.
Yeah.
Hoop
There you go.
facts.
Medical advice.
Hoop facts out here. Southwest, where you at? Nowhere, because it's closed. Honest to God, though, shouts out to the ref that were officiating the Golden State game. Because, like, the same thing happened at the end of the Patriots game, and they just gave it to the Patriots. And
It was the correct call.
What is the correct call? You gave it to the winning team. It's the correct call. I don't like how Tom Brady can just, like, walk in with the refs and, like, put his arms around him.
You know...
Like, they're old college friends. Like, imagine if Phillip Rivers did that.
You know,
they're throwing all kinds of flags, and they're like, "You can't do that, Phillip Rivers."
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Patriots fan, but I don't. That's such a bad look how he does that. And then 99% of the time, they give him the call that he's looking for. So he needs to stop doing that.
You want to lose to the Jets?
I don't want to lose to the Jets, but I don't want my boss at work to go, oh, like you guys got lucky, blah, 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 blah. Shout out, Eddie.
I mean, that's what they say about the Giants. That's all.
Oh, here we go.
You guys got lucky.
You could say that, but the Jets have a better record than the Giants. So
whatever. We have like
one
Hey,
win.
they beat
Super Bowls in the
Denver.
last
One
25
win.
years.
They beat Denver in Denver. You gotta give them some credit. No? I'm trying to give you credit.
The Rockets do look good though, and like clearly the Warriors are gonna win, but they look like all of those other teams. You know what I mean? During like the Jordan era, when it's like, well, what about Drexler? Well, what about you know who's good is the Jazz? Well, you know who's good is New York and Ewing. It's like kind of like those where like you knew, like they knew Jordan was winning, and like you talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, we knew Jordan was gonna win. But it's exciting. It's exciting. Harden's gonna go down in history. Chris Paul's gonna go down in history. Great players, fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, but I
regular
don't.
season.
Yeah. Once he hits playoffs,
You're not gonna beat him in a series.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat
No,
him in
no
a
shot.
series.
No shot.
They might win a game or two. They might-
It's strange. Its offense is weird. Like Ryan Anderson played more minutes than Chris Paul. That's weird. And like I can't talk because I didn't create today's NBA offense, so I don't know.
No, it's just a Mike D'Antoni system.
That's his ish.
Mike D'Antoni's a good coach. Okay.
Draymond needed 1 point. 1 point.
I wonder how many minutes Steph played because I saw him on the bench a lot. Like I saw Nick Young. ball
Swaggy
more
P
than-
lit it up.
More than
Swaggy
Steph.
went off.
Swaggy P went up for no other reason than gambling. Just fantasy. The Bulls' chemistry looks worse than everyone's, right? Bulls. Who's worse than the Bulls? Bulls have people
What
like
happened?
punching each other in the face.
Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis punched Nikola Mirotic in the face, and Bobby Portis hurt his hand, and Nikola Mirotic hurt his face. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Not a lot of people know this. Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr, and then they won that year.
Well, he punched someone else too. It wasn't just Kerr. He punched two.
I like that. Like it's like, well, yeah, he's Michael Jordan. He gets to punch people.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
are you, Bobby Portis?
Well, they'll grow from it, hopefully.
In exciting basketball news, the Knicks play the Thunder tomorrow on TNT. It's the first game back for Carmelo Anthony. He's now on the Thunder. He's going to play against the Knicks. Our New York correspondent, what do you have for us?
No, I like Melo to have like a 40 piece. I don't know why.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
This is
I
fun.
don't-
Got him in
He's
fantasy.
spotting
I
up.
wouldn't-
I don't think the rook that they drafted. I don't know how to pronounce his name at point guard, but he's not gonna be able to stick with Russ. And Russ is just gonna kick it out the Melo. Melo's gonna
Was
have open
it
jump
Frank Tequila?
Frank.
Nick
yeah.
Nick
Frank
Tequila.
Tequila. Frank
Yeah,
Tequila.
something
Let's
like
not forget. And
That
his
was
hand-
Phil. That was Phil Jackson. Like, his name's Tequila. Like, I'm down.
Hey man, tequila, bag of chips. Apparently, Phil Jackson wanted to trade Melo for a bag of chips.
That's
according
not-
to Melo.
Let's not forget Ennis Cantor's return to Oklahoma City.
Let's not forget, bag of chips are getting expensive.
I
Like
like
max
They
money.
do keep going up.
it's a lot of air.
Everyone is very hyped this week, especially Chris Ryan, because the Patriots are playing the Falcons, and it's the same game that was the Super Bowl. It's like Super Bowl Part 2. But for those of you that are super much looking forward to that game on Sunday, I can tell you right now that the game on Thursday, the Chiefs-Raiders, is going to be better.
The Raiders are not good.
It's going to be better
The Raiders are
for
frauds.
these reasons. Interdivisional game. The Chiefs are exciting. You have Kareem Hunt.
The Chiefs are good.
Travis Kelce can jump over people and then like Mario jump off of them. It's very cool. And then Marshawn Lynch. And if those aren't reasons enough to watch a game, and then like there's no reasons to watch a game. Because
Here's-
like shouts out to Thursday Night Football for getting this game.
Thursday
Khalil
night's
Mack,
gotten better.
Khalil Mack too. Don't forget about Khalil Mack. He's
And that
awesome.
kicker, what's the kicker's name?
The kicker is more exciting than anybody.
The kicker's cool. We can't remember his name, but the kicker's cool.
Harry, if the Raiders lose by 10 or more, you have to wear the sombrero.
Why is that a thing? We need a new thing
We'll
for
figure
when I
out the
mess up.
sombrero. But see, he's afraid. He knows it's going to be more than 10-point
I'll
game.
wear the sombrero. Can I wear it over my hoodie?
Yeah, I'll wear the sombrero if they score within 10.
All right, and then
Heard it here.
to end the show today, ESPN reporters went out and interviewed 155 defensive players, and they went out and they asked a couple questions. I'm going to ask my two co-hosts these same questions, and just because they're pretty
We
easy.
really don't know them either.
They're pretty
I swear.
easy. I think they can get
Who's
them.
holding it from us?
All right, the first one was most overrated. Who do you guys think the defensive players said was the most overrated quarterback?
You go first.
Oh,
I'm-
Eli. And I'm a huge Eli fan.
I'm going to go Cam.
Cam.
It was Eli. It was
Oh,
Eli.
okay.
Yeah.
I had a feeling he should
All
have
right.
had but 1-2 Super Bowls.
All right, the player you most want to sack.
If this isn't Tom Brady, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady. It's
Okay.
Tom Brady. That's an easy one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the quarterback you least likely want on your team is the next one.
I'm gonna go Josh McCown just because everywhere he goes, he loses. Everywhere he goes, he loses.
I don't think that's Josh McCown's fault.
Josh McCown sets the team up for the first round, or for the first overall pick.
That's cool.
I think this is a very obvious one. I want to say Jay Cutler.
It is Jay Cutler.
What?
It
Who the
is
fuck would you want
Jay Cutler.
Who the fuck wants Jay
Jay
Cutler?
Cutler
on their
came
team?
back against the NFC champions this week.
He's good in the Adam Gase system. I don't
Boston,
care.
New York, Florida. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Did that on purpose. And then before we leave today, put it on the poll. Does CC Sabathia look like he's wearing pajama pants?
It's a resounding yes.
All the time. All
He's
the time.
killing it, but he wears pajama pants to play
That's not
baseball.
young CC. It's because he's sober.
That's the show. That's the show for this week. If you like what you heard, subscribe to our YouTube page. Keep up with the polls on Twitter. And would you like to hype yourself? You have professional Twitter now?
Oh yeah, professional Twitter. Jason Prince is gonna be at JIP2346. So yeah, follow me.
It's a lot of numbers.
But
Can it just be like something catchier, like New York City Chico?
Yeah, but that's the wild out Twitter. Like I have to like protect it now.
I love that. He's like, nah, that one's just
everything
for
else, everything
that
else
one's
is
for
NYC
wild and
underscore
out.
Chico, NYC underscore Chico. Everything else, PlayStation, Snapchat.
So say it one more time.
Professional one is
Yeah.
JIP2346. It's for a course, man.
Okay. But unlike
Alright.
JPP, he has all 10 fingers.
Ooh! At least he's not 0-2 against the Giants.
Okay,
like your boy,
okay. 5 rings.
Tom. Could have been 7.
That Twitter again is Kas Podcast. So that's at KASPODCAST. Thank you guys. We love you.